This is our Unconstitutional Awakening program.
Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
Brought to you by KD Consulting Redesign.
Drop it.
Ahoy there, mateys. It's time to set sail on another episode of Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast. Tonight we have our good friend Carson Griggs coming back to join us. You know, the guy that says he's cooler on the internet. He's a good buddy of ours, and he lives up there in, he lives up there in Idaho. That's where he lives. I almost forgot. And he's former military, and he's always got a good point of view. You know, he's been through it and always has some good stories to come on here and tell us about. So I was excited to have him back because, you know, he likes to talk about current events and you know, the threat of war and such. So we'll see, of course, where it goes. But first and foremost, I've got to reach out and thank each and every one of you guys that are out there listening to us and watching us and enjoying what we got going on. That's what keeps us going, you guys. You know, you guys are the best, man. We couldn't do it without you. And, you know, of course, with that, we've got to make sure that you guys go and check out our website, unconstitutionalawakening.com. That's where you can find all the fantabulous things about Jim Bob Ogleshorts, Bandit, and the rest of the crew. Mostly, if you just hop over there into our new host sections, you can break it down and find where everyone is and get back to their Instagrams and TikToks and even YouTubes. And we've also got all the other links, some great places to find us and stuff right down here, including our Facebook page, Captain Conspiracy, and the Freedom Pirates. Of course, you guys know that right there on our homepage, you can always check out the links to get back to the show and watch. You can also check out all the links to get back to listen, as well as just listen to the show while you're hanging out on our website. We've also got our fantabulous Freedom Pirate merch store where you can get you some awesome Unconstitutional Awakening gear. Hats, shirts, pillows, you name it, man. They've got all kinds of good stuff there. And we appreciate when you guys show your support and love by, you know, having something cool with UA on it. And lastly, of course, you can check out our sponsors while you're there as well. You know, my buddy Kirk Elliott getting you some gold and silver to help fix the things as far, you know, money's getting weird, guys. So Kirk Elliott will help you get some investments going before, you know, the bubble pops. Probably a good idea to reach out and talk to him. As well as Peachy Key Creations over there making our homemade soaps, homemade oils, all kinds of stuff, man. She's got all kinds of things going on, candles, and even an energy healer. So if that's something that piques your interest, make sure you reach out to Peachy Key Creations. And then our buddy Ammo Can at Ammo Can Survival, making first aid kits and survival gear, as well as ghillie suits, all kinds of cool stuff, man. You go check out Ammo Can. He'll take care of you guys. He even custom fits plate carriers, man. So, and uses only the best armor that he could find. The stuff from our good buddy Lyman Bishop over there. Y'all know all about him. And then, of course, lastly, if you'll just check out classicallearner.com and Homeschools Connected with my buddy Brett Pike. He's trying to help change the world and in a different way. You know, he's making sure that folks are homeschooling their children and getting on the right path with some of that kind of stuff. So, you know, we do appreciate all of you guys. Like this has been fantabulous since we started earlier this year, and we plan on keep on trucking because you can't hold this pirate ship down. So, you know, I hope you guys are looking forward to tonight's episode. We should have some good conversation and have a good crew out here having this conversation. So let's just jump into that, though. I think it's time to
get going with this, and we'll just go from there, you guys.
So how is everyone doing this evening? Luis, how are you tonight, bud?
Just questioning the foundations of time, reality, and what is thought and where is thought located. When time ends, where is that 0, 1, or the representation of everything you created in your life stored?
That's a great question.
In a
Man,
black
you went
hole?
all deep in philosophy. Dude, I was just going to say I'm horny. Like,
Well, it's good to know you're a horny person, and it's good to have you back, buddy. It's been a while. Glad to hear from you, man.
been a minute. How are you guys?
Fantabulous.
Outstanding.
Bandit, how you doing over there tonight, bud?
Good. Doing good.
We were actually just talking about fighter pilot helmets. Prior to hitting the record button, which is super interesting. In fact, while we were talking about it, I totally found a video of a fighter pilot of one of like the new fighter pilot helmets or whatever. And it's cool to talk about them because, man, they're interesting things, man. Like I don't know too much about them, and I know it's got Luis a little set aside. Don't worry, Carson. I'm not gonna out you on any of your secret gay stuff tonight, buddy. Just hang in tight, okay?
Thank you.
But I thought this was pretty cool. I was watching it while you guys were talking, and this guy is talking about a fighter pilot helmet that has 360 degrees of sky.
So this is the F-35 helmet. It's unique and different and dramatically more advanced than any helmet that a pilot has ever worn. This helmet has a very sophisticated set of optics that project an image on a television screen in front of the pilot's eyes. He sees everything that's important to him when he flies. That's how fast he's going, how high he is, and where he's navigating to. But what's really fascinating is the image that's projected on this screen is fed by 6 infrared cameras that are embedded in the skin of the airplane. So these are hot and cold imagery projected cameras that are on the outside of the F-35 that project into the pilot. A spherical image, wherever he looks, if he can turn his head like Gumby, the little toy Gumby, he can see anywhere around the airplane on the outside looking out. When I fly this jet in Texas, I look underneath the jet, beneath my legs, as I fly along and see the roads and the forests and the undulations of the river that separates.
Wait. So what this guy's telling me is that, like, with the helmet on, he's seeing through the plane?
Yes. He can look down where would be your lap, and it goes, you'll see the ground. There's no need for the old school, like, Tomcat pilots from naval pilots of like Top Gun era to have that notepad on your thigh anymore. There is none of that anymore, man. Right. It's everything's like digital.
Luis puts on the Oculus.
Right.
I can see the roads too.
I'm sure you can.
It's wild.
Well,
Benny, you were saying something that before we started that you had said that like these kind of planes aren't going to be used in like dogfights or whatever. So this is
no. These are a first strike aircraft. I mean, they'd be pointless. It'd be immediate air cover. It'd be immediate like takedown. But just the thought of like what would happen if these started getting like taken out of the sky, because I don't know exactly how many we have. Of course, on the Wikipedia page it says not even 200. But they've never been tested. Well, they've never been tested. Officially, they've never been tested in combat. They've never been tested under. I'm sure they've gone through the stress.
We've had dogfights with China and Russia, but it's never like spoken about.
The F-22s and the F-35s have never been tested really, like other
probably
aircraft.
Might be another jet.
So it's just one of those things. It's like, will they function in a combat environment?
It says as of November of 2020, F-22 there's 860 plus that have been built.
That's not all of those are for us.
Sure.
Yeah, other countries have them, but this always brings me to the point of you don't win. You don't even win battles with strictly air superiority. You can have the best air force in the world, and if you don't have the complement of a good ground force, you're in trouble. You really are.
No, that makes sense.
And there's always there's always the worry of surface to air missiles. Always. And
don't these systems also have anti-surface to like air missile defense?
All aircraft do. All aircraft have,
to an extent, right?
Yeah, most aircraft. Let's hope most aircraft do.
I remember the Chinese were manufacturing P parts for these planes, and
I know, right? Chips.
They discontinued
Chips for
and then took all the parts out because they could have. What they were saying is they could have added a particular chemical tracer to a particular part, changed the chemical structure fractionally enough that they could detect the planes. That was fascinating to hear. It's like they can basically track the radiation, like the particular alteration of its chemical signature from a distance. So that was interesting to hear. So what other technology don't we know about, or how we can trace things from a very long distance?
Yeah, Carson. Our local Fed here that's probably tracing everybody in the conversation.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to aircraft and technologies and stuff like that, I don't really want to dip into the conversations and stuff like that because I've had a few friends get on online forums and talk about capabilities of aircrafts. And
I'm not asking you to divulge anything to get you in
But
trouble.
some of this stuff, I mean, you can talk about what is common knowledge. What is common, what is already being circulated online. You can dip into that.
So like you were talking about how like dogfighting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like planes, they fly every day. Like the Air Force flies their planes every day, just training. They have to keep a portion of their aircraft in the air 24 hours a day. So it's simulated. Like they do training up there. They're actually doing training flights and like simulated combat and stuff like that. And I have had the pleasure of being inside of an F-15 and dogfighting an F-22. It fucking
That's pretty spicy. I bet it's frightening.
Some crazy shit, dude. I didn't. From someone who's been on the ground the most of their life, experiencing that many G's is like insane. Just
did they tell you not to eat?
Yeah, you don't eat. It's like going in for surgery. Don't eat 8 hours before.
Just a little bit of water, and then
a little bit of water and peanut butter and jellies.
To keep the calories up.
No, peanut butter and jellies because they taste the same coming out as they do coming in. That's the reason.
I mean, that's pretty good reason, and yeah, I could see it.
You're gonna at least enjoy it if it exits.
Yeah.
Like I didn't throw up. I didn't. The guy that was in the.
You know why, Carson? Because they probably cut your crust off, buddy.
Damn right. Anyways, mommy always cuts off all my chamois. But like, no, that shit is really cool, really fun. If I could do it all over again, I just would have went to college and actually became a pilot. But
Wait, you can't do that now?
No, I don't want to now.
Oh, you don't want to now?
No.
I think you could become a pilot still, couldn't you?
In theory, I could, but that would require me going to college, and I hate everything about colleges now.
Fair.
So, like, education at this point is so tainted and poisoned. Why would you even torture yourself and spend that much money? Why would I waste my GI Bill on stupid fucking
I was going to
degree?
say, we don't want to use Uncle Sam's monies.
And I'll use Uncle Sam's monies to get, like, certifications, like my CWI and, hell, even my CFI if I want to. Like, just fuck all that.
Use it for a trade school, man.
Yeah, exactly. Use it for trade school.
Fair.
Definitely.
fair. Yeah. I mean,
It's
that
more
would be
valuable
something
than
good.
still. The demand is huge.
So, Carson, I mean, I know I don't like prying too much because I don't like getting you in trouble. And last time you were on here, you had made mention about having to, forego dealing with some of those rules that were being laid down upon you. And you gave me the good news of how it really isn't continuing for you. So, I won't divulge too much into that, but it was leading us into a conversation of a lady that was brought to my attention today. That what Julie Powell passing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys seen anything about that. I know the guys in the group here did, but it was a bit of a shit show there on the way out. And personally, I'm one of those guys that's gonna sit here and tell you it probably has something to do with lining up to inject concoctions into your body.
That shouldn't be there.
Yeah, that shouldn't be there. And this lady was doing a lot. Like she was always doing, food blogs and all kinds of stuff. And
it's what's bad though is I get it's most of the time it's you get what you deserve most of the time, but there is a small portion of people that were so
oh, you mean like the people we were talking about last night that were begging for our forgiveness?
No. There were some people.
No, those are different.
These jabs. Yeah, there are people that took the jabs that honestly believed wholeheartedly in the goodness of what they were doing.
Sure.
And they
the majority,
did not.
I would say. The majority.
I wouldn't even. I'm not going to say majority. I'm going to say it's about a 50-50. I'm going to say 50-50. It's some believed in the. But they were good people. There are people that took the jab that are complete douchebags that wished death on everybody who didn't take it.
I knew people that literally said that. We were both like.
That is a majority of the people that took the jab wished death on people that didn't take it. That's the majority of the jab.
Because they called them selfish.
Yep.
Isn't that so polite?
So I think this woman was just. I mean, I don't. I know a little bit about her, and I think that she was just one of those that
thought she was doing something right.
Wholeheartedly believed that she was doing something right and something good, and
you read you read the New York Times. You believe what the New York Times tells you. You think you're part of the clique, and
yep,
you fell for the trap that a few people said and didn't tell anybody else that they were setting a trap.
Yeah, it's going to end up being one of those things that we look back at and go, what were they thinking?
What? Oh, let's review that in history. What was a moment where there was one group telling everybody, "Yo, you're out of your mind, crazy," and the other one was like, "No, you're wrong." I mean, what do you guys what moment in time can you think
just
about?
hope it's not Christianity.
Oh, damn. That's exactly where I was about to go.
You went too far back. Okay, you cannot go that far back.
All right.
The past 200 years, at least. You cannot go further.
Okay. I mean, we could go back to the Spanish flu.
Well, we can go back to anything Alex Jones said before Sandy Hook. And
I'll call him on that because
Bill Hicks, man,
because
you mean the stand-up comedian Bill Hicks
on December 31st, 1999, he was on there sensationalizing how at midnight nuclear weapons were going off and going to bomb New York City and put people into a complete frenzy because he's a sensationalist cuck.
Yeah.
Do you think Alex Jones was an implant from the CIA?
1,000,000%.
So hey,
I mean, they allowed him to lie and say that he's Alex Jones instead of Bill Hicks, so there might be some truth to it.
You cannot be in the spotlight as much as him and not be some form of controlled opposition
Well, that's what I mean. It's Go Hicks. He just like, you know what? I'm going to work for you guys now.
If he would have dug into anything worthwhile and released anything worthwhile, they would have Gary Webbed his ass in like a week.
Yeah.
Facts.
They would have.
So, I mean, he didn't do shit for anybody. You know?
Not from my perspective.
A broken
either.
clock is right twice a day. I mean, look, all the shit that he said, he might have been right a few times. Okay?
So,
absolutely.
He could be considered a form of controlled op because he created so much discrediting elements to the idea of the questioning of establishment. So you have so many people that say outlandishly ridiculous things that just nobody in their right minds would absolutely believe. But when he got right turning the frogs gay and nobody paid attention to that one, I'll give him that. Like he said a few little things here and there. That was public information, right? It's information that was publicly available, just nobody was looking at it. The Thorazine in the water was converting the sex predominantly into the opposite. So if it's statistically we're leaning towards male as a collective evolutionary choice, it went female. I believe that was kind of what the tadpoles the curve of change of sex, and actually they just figured that out with eggs. That's what I was going to.
Bring up the Jurassic Park clip. Please. You know, life finds a way.
No. So
I mean, seriously though, who didn't think that part right now when you're talking about that? Because they used amphibian DNA in the Jurassic Park dinosaurs. And it's perfect.
So this is the thing. We, in theory, in a few decades, could create dinosaurs, but we could try. Yes, but we couldn't keep. They wouldn't be huge.
No,
they'd be tiny.
Yeah,
they wouldn't be fun. They'd be tiny.
They've already found.
Didn't they clone a dire wolf recently?
They've been cloning animals for
like
a while.
that. So they're going to try to clone a mammoth inside of an African elephant. I don't know how that's going to work out.
They found that almost perfectly preserved.
Because they found a perfectly preserved mammoth.
Yeah, with food.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Oh, you could show it. Like, it's pretty amazing.
Wild, dude.
Carson's not wrong.
Animal, but it's like real.
Carson's not wrong. Scientists have sequenced dire wolf DNA.
Yeah, is it called dire wolf, or it's just a term for a big ass wolf?
Just a term for a big ass wolf.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big ass wolf. Yes, I remember they did that. I just didn't see the results yet, or it hasn't grown up yet. The animal.
I want to fuck one.
Bestiality is wrong, buddy.
Yes, we do not condone.
Although, you know, I was thinking about that. No, seriously,
you're not amongst your military buddies anymore, Carson.
Listen, all right. Bestiality is wrong and it's illegal, right?
Yeah.
But if you start turning people into,
it's not illegal in all 50 states. Which I'm like, why?
If you start turning people into chimeras, isn't that still bestiality?
What if she identifies as a furry?
Furries are cool in my book, bro. There's some cool people in that genre of people.
There's a lot of people in that genre. That's a choice. But the furries, see, they still have a 48 chromosome index. Generally.
I mean, you might occasionally run across the one with an extra one or so. So I mean, it's not uncommon.
I mean, there are people with extra chromosomes. Yeah, and
there are people with less.
I know a few of those. The ones with less.
Yeah, we know. Jimmy and I know some people with some extra chromosomes.
Some homies with chromies.
Yes,
man.
Ex homies with chromies.
Yeah, but it's.
Okay. I know that certain conditions can arise from the extra chromosome.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Like, why is Down syndrome from an extra chromosome? Like, what? Why? Why does extra information cause that? And separately, most people with Down syndrome are the kindest human beings.
They are so kind.
Oh yes.
They have
isn't that weird that they make them kind?
They have superhuman strength.
and they have a lot of strength. Yeah.
So
There
maybe
must-
maybe it's not bad. Maybe it's just our society that's saying it's bad.
No, I have met people with those conditions that
I have two that are
living in normal
fantastic.
lives.
Yeah.
They're living normal lives. It's just the training that's required for them to allow them to.
Yeah,
And you can look at the same at autism, which is a
Sure.
giant spectrum, right? And it's
I know Carson's got trouble all the time learning.
I got a hint of the tism. Now,
what?
like I think I've
a hint of the tism.
like Bandit. You said like I'm not around my military buddies anymore. I think I have forgotten how to talk to normal people. Like,
You'll never actually remember. I mean, that'll never come back to you because especially if you spend as much time in as I did, you forget how to talk to people like out in public, and it kind of comes out wrong, and people will look at you like,
Wait,
you
how
mean
long did
to
you
say
serve? Bandit, how long were you serving?
13 years.
And
No,
you in
14
Carson?
years.
How many years are you in Carson right now?
I'm working on my 5th one. So, yeah. So like I was at the bar the other day with some friends, and we pull into this, like we're in the line for the bathroom, and like there's just a big long line of the bathroom, and there's a bunch of like college kids running around, and I'm just like, man, all I got to do is go in here and wipe my ass. And this dude like looks at me and is just like what the fuck? And I was like, what? You don't have to do a safety wipe every now and then? And like he looks so bewildered, and it was just such a normal conversation that I have every day. Like
there are just the same thing with, well, I mean, it's not just military. It's like if you've grown up in the wood, if you've grown up out in the country,
Sure.
it's not just the military. There are certain areas of the military.
Does it count if you spent the first 10
time
years of
in.
your life traveling from base to base?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You
Well,
kind of just like you really see like the
There's a difference.
underbelly. You see the underbelly of society.
there's a difference. There's a difference when with me, when I was young, us moving all over the country and outside of the country and stuff with the Air Force thing with my sperm donor, like it was a drastic change going into like the public school system and stuff, coming from like things that were on base. So
you mean your sheltered little world of like that base is? It's like everything is black and white, and everything is just it's the Matrix. What you think of as the Matrix is a military installation.
yes, a million percent.
Yeah.
And like when I got into like the public school realm, like I always didn't fit in. I still don't fit in, but I just make my own way. That's just how I kind of went about it. And I kind of totally understand the disassociation part where you have trouble communicating with people in public. Like that's definitely a trait that I picked up from that. Like I could sit here and talk to you guys all night, talk to other folks that I know for endless amounts of time, but when it comes to walking around in a store, it's fucking awkward.
Well, sometimes people feel like if you feel certain elements of their lives, that I sometimes see people and it's like, oh look, that's their script, that's their role.
Well, and,
just running
and
inside
seeing
of their
auras
role.
doesn't help. So that makes subjects worse too, because I'm picking and choosing who I even want to look at. I know,
See,
weird me.
like I say the most outlandish, inappropriate things every chance I get. Every chance I get.
Give us an example, Carson. Give us a great example.
Like, okay, I'm sure I'll come up with a few hundred of them while we're just sitting here having.
We don't need to. I get what you're saying, man. Believe me, I get what you're saying.
Like,
I do.
I just say inappropriate shit, and then I go home to like Texas to see my family, and I spend my hard-earned leave days spending time with my family, and they're like, why are you speaking right now? And I was like, I thought I was hilarious because I think I'm funny, and this is how I cope with all the bullshit that's been happening in my life the last 5 years, and and they don't think it's funny because everyone in the military is in the same exact shitty communist situation that you're in. And so you just sit there and you have the dark, twisted sense of humor so you all get over it.
Interesting. You said the word communist. Why?
Because the military is a communist association. Everyone that is the same rank as you get paid the exact same, even though Larry over there doesn't do any of the work that you do. It's
so should you tell all the commies to go in the military so they experience the beautiful, beautiful reality that they so want to live?
No. Okay, I say do it. America's already fucked. We're dead. We're dead in the water. There's no coming back from this unless we kill everyone and just restart. There's no coming back from this. Let all the commies join the military.
Unfortunately, we're gonna stay afloat. We're gonna
stay afloat, dude. We're gonna stay afloat.
Unfortunately, we're gonna tread water for about another 50 years.
I would say no. I would say there will be change. I don't believe that everything's gonna stay equally as status quo as it is. But the rise of China is never happening.
And I can run away to my remote island that I found on the river and never come back to society.
I mean,
war will pick up. War will pick up. There will be some wars.
Definitely war can pick up, but it's going to end quickly. That's my belief.
They're going to drag it on. They have to.
They're already doing it. Like this is already.
They're going to drag it on. I know, but they're going to drag it on and on and on.
Why do you think our inflation's going up? So the way you pay for the war machine is by basically raising interest rates, which are not 4%.
Which the Feds are doing. They already did today.
They did today 70 basis points. So what that means, so what people don't understand, when we're raising interest rates, what we're actually doing, it's exporting our inflation.
Yep. To the rest of the world.
Nobody is ever mentioning that we're exporting inflation.
Yep.
Nobody.
We are one of the worldwide drivers of inflation right now as the United States.
But get this. I was talking to like people from other countries and they were all saying, but we all want dollars. So it's like this weird symbiotic relationship where they're abusing you, but you want more. So in Argentina, everybody wants dollars because it's stable, because their currency is just inflating to the sky. So they all want dollars. They all want to work in cash. So they want physical cash as much as they can. Also, Argentina is one of the biggest crypto users in the world. And so there's this problem, and all the countries are destabilized. And why the cryptocurrency space is going to evolve is because eventually cryptos will get more stable as they have becoming more stable. And they will be basically de facto alternatives to the everyday environments of people. And they will also be trade options. So it's CNBC's central bank digital currencies, CNBC's. Oh, my God, my God, my brain. CBNC, central bank digital currencies. Turkey's going to start one. The US is going to start one. Europe is going to start one. So that's us all integrating into the great system where you will own nothing and you will be happy.
Yeah, fuck that.
People are going to fight back.
I have a theory behind that. We all know my theory behind that.
Yeah, I'll be on my island living happy.
Not an island. No, won't be an island.
Who made the quote said, I don't know what World War III will be fought with, but the next World War will be fought with sticks and stones.
World War IV was sticks and stones. That's Albert Einstein.
So Albert Einstein, I just want the sticks and stones to hurry up and come. Just wipe this shit.
If we get to wiping, you don't think the military base here is not going to get wiped clean?
Thanos was right. Half you bitches need to go. All right, just like
3/4. We need 3/4 at least. There needs to be the culling is coming, man. But in what form?
It already started.
I know it, but it started. But the real culling is coming. But what shape and what form it takes? It's like
it already started with those shots. Are you kidding me?
That's part of the culling. I just said it started.
I think
the real culling is the real.
They're already doing that.
I mean, Choose your destructor at the end of Ghostbusters. They said they gave you the choice. You know, you get to choose your destructor. You know, but
I think famine.
That's already happening.
Yeah, but that'll never happen in the United States, man.
It won't happen in the United States, but it's going to happen. It's already happening.
It's Ethiopia is almost
inevitable.
Yemen.
Yes.
But that's because of the Saudi government.
Mm-hmm. And look what happened in Pakistan. The flood. The culling is coming, whether it be natural or man-made. The real one. Like, we're talking like what people would mistake for a rapture. You know, if you're into the religious aspect of things.
It's already happening. Excess deaths globally are skyrocketing. I was talking, I think yesterday I mentioned it, and I need to find the graph. Child mortality and elderly mortality are like kind of equal now, which is insane. That's part of the reason people, when they used to read the charts, what was the average age of a person was 30 or 40. It wasn't because that people didn't get to that age.
Child mortality.
It was because of child mortality, and we had a discussion, but it's because of that alters the stat. If you take that out, then most people lived into 40s, 50s, 60s, like similar to now. And some people that ate well lived into elderly age, 60, 70, 80, just like they do now. But they are now noticing it's increased to the point where overall, which is the point that we're saying, we are not at replacement capacity at the rate we're going to go. So if we go beyond that number soon, we will be below replacement capacity exponentially. So if we start having a global that means the global population will go down very, very fast.
Children of men.
Children of men.
Yeah. I mean, in the whole you'll own nothing and be happy, great reset thing, you don't think, I mean, the resistance to that will be biblical. I don't think it's going to be, people want to think of it as like a worldwide thing. It's going to happen.
It's already happening.
I know you don't.
They're not noticing it.
The logistics that it would take to control, like with force, a worldwide population.
Because you don't need to do it with force. You can do it through coercion.
But you're not going to be able to coerce the entire worldwide population.
They did.
I think you'll get.
They already did.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Did it? How many? What is the percentage of the global population that took it?
But that, I think that fights
three quarters.
I think that fights mine and Bandit's point here, which is
3/4
quarter that's left. My life didn't change other than getting to watch people act retarded.
My life didn't change other than watching people.
And honestly, I think the United States, I think they fully vaxxed. Like,
and I went back to lower class, even though I finally made it to.
They have half of the population in the U.S. and the immigrants and certain other populations were like, nope.
So you can't tell me.
No, gracias.
You can't tell me that they're gonna be able to force this whole Great Reset thing on the entire worldwide population.
Los Latinos dicen no.
It's going to be about maybe
the Latinos will be the ones
at most.
Step up and save us.
Look, and I've been in enough conferences, and I'll tell you this, and this is something like very powerful Latinos are saying. We are gonna control the United States. Like, if other people said this, it would sound creepy as fuck. But I have heard a lot of very powerful Latinos say it like that. We are going to control the United States.
I don't care.
No, I mean,
I love my Latino brethren.
Oh no, I'm not. It just, if a white man said that.
Yeah, no. If I said that,
yeah, I got you, man.
They'd be knocking on my door by the time we finished recording this episode.
Yeah,
I would sacrifice my entire way of life if it meant more tacos.
You know, it's one of those things. I kind of just like I think I repeat it at least. I think I repeat it at least once every 10 episodes of the show. It's like, your major metro areas are going to be the easiest to control by force, and I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to go for the major metropolitan areas, the high population, high density areas, and they're just, they're going to wall you up, and they're going to
a movie about that.
They're going to leave you. They're going to leave everybody else to fend for themselves in the rural and country areas. I don't see any other way.
Useless, as Klaus Schwab calls us.
Yeah, logistically, I don't see them being able to control a country like the United States by force.
Oh, there's no way.
There's no way.
No.
That's what everybody's going to be eating soon. It's called chapulines. I've tried it. I've had
chocolate covered grasshoppers before.
So I haven't, I think. No, I don't think I have chocolate covered grasshoppers. That is chapulines. That is
crickets.
That is crickets. And in New York, there's a couple of places that sell them. And I remember having guac with chapulines, and we're like, man, it's actually not that bad. It looks terrible when you look at it, but it's actually not that bad. Because at the end of the day, if you compare, right, what is the value of different types of proteins? What's the negative side effect of those types of proteins? They cannot be full replacements for animal meats.
No,
they are supplemental.
And not just that. Our body is not made to digest bugs
insects
properly. So
yep.
Well, there's people that do in other parts of the world, but not the average person. But there's tribes and other places that eat bugs every single day.
Generations. Sure. They've been doing it for generations. Their body.
I'm not saying that you can't.
Those bodies have adapted. Yeah, many people that live by the Amazon rainforest, those people are all adapted.
Like, bro, if I'm stuck out in the woods and I'm hungry, I'll eat a grub real quick. Like,
but it's a stopgap measure to getting real animal protein.
Did they show you guys? My friend told me this story about how you eat cockroaches in Basic or something related to Basic, where basically there were some plants outside of the training area, and they told you take those leaves and wrap it, and then put it in your mouth.
I do know that if you drink already ground coffee here in the United States, you're drinking mostly cockroaches.
You're drinking like a small percentage of cockroaches. That's gross.
I'm going to give you a good example. I don't get it.
How does that happen?
Because a company like Chock full of Nuts that's been using the same coffee grinder for almost 100 years that you can't actually get inside of and clean properly. It gets full of cockroaches.
Yeah, they allow it though. They allow actually so much.
Is that why?
The FDA.
Please elaborate. Show us all how
into Folgers coffee. Folgers coffee. They allow so many pieces of bugs per pound of coffee.
But why don't they clean?
Have you guys seen what ground beef is?
Yeah.
Have y'all seen what ground beef is now?
On average, 400 insect fragments per 50 grams of all food.
So you guys know, like when you buy ground beef at a store, it's like 20% bowel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like non-edible parts of bovine and equestrian animals. Like it's in your ground beef. It's like 20%.
And that's why if you go to,
I've always questioned how the fuck do they get rid of the shit that was in the animal? You're eating it.
Normally they'll like dump it out and they process it and turn it into like fertilizer and shit like that. But a majority of it doesn't make it into that. A lot of it doesn't make it into that processing part. It just gets ground up with the rest.
All the cheap companies will sell you essentially shit meat.
Well, that's why I have started getting my ground beef
from a butcher.
Whatever from some of the local cattle farms here in Kentucky. They will do they will sell at farmers markets and co-ops and stuff.
And I got your hookup if you're in Georgia and need the same thing.
The noticeable difference between that stuff and
what's the flavor difference for you?
What's the what?
Flavor difference. What would you say texture wise, flavor wise? What would you describe it?
Less fatty.
I wouldn't say
it actually tastes like the meat that I ate as a
It
child
cooks-
and not the
it
stuff that we've
cooks
been getting in
better.
the store for the past
It
15
cooks
years.
better. It breaks up better. Like if you, it forms patties better. It cooks better. It cooks more evenly.
I wouldn't even say it's more like a cook or like there is a difference between that too, but like just the feeling of what you get when you eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That
you don't
too.
feel
It's
sick.
creamier,
You don't
and it
feel
doesn't
like shit.
feel like a brick in your stomach.
Chicken,
That's it.
for example, I love to point this one out. Chicken is a great example. People are all about like white meat chicken, and I like white meat chicken too. It's tender, and you can season it to whatever you want. But the reality of it is,
guys, it's gonna get
real
very
chicken,
expensive.
real chicken
Mm.
has an orange hue to it. Every chicken that I slaughter has that orange hue to it, and the meat tastes like meat. Doesn't taste like whatever the fuck I was eating prior to that.
I'm confused because I mean, when you say orange, I want to understand it. Could you show us a picture of what you mean? Because I want to understand like what that hue means. Because I'm like, I kind of agree with you, but I'm kind of like, on what level could we get into the actual tones? Because that's a interesting, valid point. Since we're going to go
Show
into food.
like the size of meat chickens.
Oh, that's great.
How big they've gotten in 100 years.
That is insane.
I've got a couple of leghorns in my backyard right now that are fucking massive.
Mm.
That are massive. They're probably that big around.
Leghorns, the
meat chickens.
Leghorns
So
are
you let them
leghorns are
walk
little
around,
chickens.
so they actually walk around. And
Leghorns are little
Yeah.
chickens.
No, the meat chickens, the leghorn
Cornish?
chickens. Those are the leghorns are the big white ones.
No.
Like the all white ones. Yeah. Look it up.
The males are big and white, but the females are little.
Not mine.
I've got a
Telling
bunch
you,
of them
man.
running around. Like that's a big portion of my chickens are leghorn, and they're
Mine are
right here.
mine are huge, man.
Now the rooster, Lucky, he's this size. He's big, but all the females.
My female leghorns are 4 times that size.
That's why I think you might have Cornish.
They're as big as female they're as big as female turkeys.
Well, this is
Chickens
something
that are
I
as
think
big
this
as
is very
turkeys.
related. Check this out. This is super freaky. Check this out, Jim.
Why are you pulling that up? Did you have a problem with your chickens, like your meat chickens, not being able to walk?
No,
You have
mine
this.
are-
They
mine
can
are okay.
exercise. They should be fine. It's
Well,
when they don't get exercise.
You have
They
this,
got so
right?
fucking big that they
Yeah.
didn't.
Those are Cornish cross.
They
Yeah,
can't
okay,
walk
so they
because
have
they're kept in a cage and they can't move, so they don't get exercise, so they don't have the muscles.
Well, they taste good.
Well,
Oh,
I
mine
mean,
tastes excellent.
I
man.
I got I do got your video pulled up here. So I got some cool stories from down here in South Georgia. We have a place called Claxton Chicken Farm, and it happens to be not only a work farm for the local prison down there, but it also houses tons of illegal Asian immigrants. And they all work in there for about 11 cents an hour, prisoners included. And I've had some buddies do some time, and I'm the only guy who's willing to go pick them up because it's almost all the way down there where Neptune lives, Bandit. Like it's like 2.5 hours from my house. And they told me the horror. My last buddy that came out from in there, and I tried to get him on the show because he does wellness, health and wellness and stuff. I'm gonna get him here eventually. But when he did time, his job was to stand at the beginning of the conveyor belt and kill the chickens that came out of the chute. Whether they had 4 to 6 legs, extra wings, multiple heads, all kinds of horror stories that he sat there and told me on a daily basis. And he told me, he said, "Bro, don't ever buy Claxton chicken."
Have you ever seen the Purdue chicken farmer owner, one of the Purdue executives, say, "If we can make chickens with 4 legs, we would"?
Yeah, I worked at Tyson.
No, I find that interesting because we have a lot of
Because of the chicken leg market in China. They love chicken legs in China, like really love them.
But see, with Purdue, we have a lot of local chicken farms down here in Georgia that are subcontractors for Purdue Chicken.
I drove by those places and I was freaked out. It just looked
like down here, I've even looked into it because there's actually some decent money in it, and they supply the chickens. You just have to do the work, and then they come pick up the chickens.
And people have done the math. It's not that good.
Not unless you got about 6 chicken houses.
You have to have a very high supply, but the problem is when it comes to the labor, they did the math and they were like, "You're getting paid minimum wage."
Oh, dude, I hate chicken work. Don't get me wrong. I love my chickens, but I hate chicken work. You can't keep it fucking clean. They're disgusting. But it's kind of a long video, but it's very fascinating. It's about chickens, and just watch it. You're gonna be like, "What the fudge?" Chickens.
And watch. I'll point out a specific part that's very fascinating.
Over 7.5 billion male chickens are killed every year without eating them. Yes, it is animals that we throw away just because they are male. What? Why? Let me introduce you to 2 friends at a lab in Israel who are fixing this problem.
Can I put a pause and hang on a second? I feel like this is going to lean into some nonsense that it claims that they're not as good.
No. Just listen. Listen. It's a good thing, but it's a weird story.
But that's why you kill. From experience, those of you with roosters, if you don't want more than one, the minute it crows, that is when you nuke that chicken. And it will be some of the most delicious chicken you've ever had.
But listen to what they figured out. It's fascinating.
Hi, Nas Daily. I'm Yael Alter.
I am Nashat Khaj Muhammad.
And we found a way how to change the sex of baby chickens.
See, when an egg becomes a male chicken, farmers cannot use it because male chickens cannot lay eggs. So what does the egg industry do with male chickens? Well, they kill them.
Every year, 7.
I'm going to pause it right now because there is actually an old myth, and it's not a myth because I've seen it with my own eyes. But if you keep just female chickens and you have too many female chickens, one of those chickens is naturally going to become a male.
Is that a myth, or that's been observed? Because that's fascinating. That happens with fish. That does not. I've never heard of that happening.
Totally a myth.
That's what I'm saying, because I have had a situation personally where I didn't want a rooster, and I made sure I didn't get a rooster, and then one day all of a sudden a rooster crowed. Because I know how to sex chickens.
I think that's just misgendered chickens.
See, I've had, like, they've been doing, like, we're talking about eggs turning a male into female has been going on for years, because I remember down in Texas them going over, like, changing the sex of sea turtle eggs while they were still in the ground just by controlling the temperature.
Yes, correct. But they had not figured out how to do with chickens until now. Listen to what how they're doing it.
0.5 billion baby chicks are killed just because they are male.
7.5 billion. That means 87 chickens are killed every second because they're from the wrong gender. So, Yael and Nashat had a crazy idea.
What if we can change the male chicks to female chicks?
Yes. What if you could change the sex of a chicken before it's born? Yes, it's a crazy idea, but turns out it is possible. First, they put some chicken eggs on this smart egg tray. They put it in this box and change the settings, and then turn on music. Not music like this or this. Music like this.
See a weird symbol in the wall. No, so they're gonna show you a symbol. Just keep playing it.
The sound we use is actually a top secret, but it sounds something like that.
The sound vibration.
There, stop it. So doesn't that look like Hebrew? The Hebrew symbols. I mean, they're showing probably the Hebrew version, the Hebrew display.
Yeah.
But Hebrew is that language in sound is presented in sound waves. So when you play the sound of particular symbols, it displays that sound in a form of the symbol. So Hebrew is the craziest language we have because it's the most mathematical language. Also, there's like a lot of nuance to it. If you want to go into that, watch the movie Pi in relationship to
We
the
actually
math of Hebrewism.
we actually conversated a little bit about it when we had our Mystic Mason friend on, because he talks about a lot of the mysticism in the Hebrew language and such.
But yeah, they've basically figured out how to convert chickens through audio, through sound.
Well, what was it? Nikola Tesla has been talking about frequency being the root of everything since, well, Nikola Tesla was around. Like certain frequencies can change a lot about, like, and it's been like a healing method for years about frequencies and stuff like that.
Did you guys see the research finally came out about sound-based cancer cures? You know, like the ones that they were talking about decades ago.
Like,
and they were calling people crazy, and then the FDA banned it.
Well, like that one guy in the 1920s that had that fucking microscope that displayed certain frequencies on different sicknesses and illnesses, and it killed him instantly. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about? Jim Bob, I'm pretty sure you covered it in a video of yours like a couple years ago when I first started following you. You covered that guy.
Yeah. I tend to come around on that stuff every now and then, but it is a good point to make as far as the sounds and stuff.
So this is from 2018, but I'm trying to find
Did you message me?
I'm trying to find. So also there is a way to give you an injection with sound. I saw this technology a very long time ago, but they figured out. So for example, when you're getting an IV or something, they can now do it through frequency. So you don't have to put a needle. You would just use frequency to get the liquid inside of you. Painless, making it essentially completely painless. Now, I think it's just too expensive a technology. That's why probably it's never been rolled out mainstream. But it would be probably the future of how people get injections painlessly.
So it's called spontaneous sex reversal in chickens, and it has been observed by very many people, and it is a real thing. I'm not
interesting.
crazy.
That's super fucking interesting. Okay, here it is. 2020, Caltech.
I will share this link for the people to read, I promise.
Okay, here you go. This is from Caltech. Ultrasound can selectively kill cancer cells. It was ultrasound all along. We had the fucking technology for decades. You can buy a machine. Obviously, you have to probably tune it to a very, very specific a fraction of a frequency inside of the spectrum of ultrasound frequencies. But
me and Bandit talked to a lady. Excuse me.
You can buy these machines if
me
you
and
probably
Bandit
could
talked to a
tune
lady
them.
one night that makes Rife machines.
What if Rife machines are just ultrasound machines?
That's all. That's totally all they are, bro.
Well, let me look up when was ultrasound invented. That's actually a valid one.
Do you guys know that pigeons die after sex?
Just like honeybees.
Well, a lot of animals die after sex.
At least the one I fucked did.
Okay, well, I got a question.
Bestiality
Was
is
it?
not approved.
Wait, I got a question. All right, so
It's
if you're
worse.
fucking listen, if you're
Ultrasound
fucking
was
pigeons, bro,
invented
I got a
potentially
question.
225 years ago.
Did it have organs, or did it have computer wires?
It was. I don't think this bird was real. I don't think this bird
Heard it,
was real.
ladies and gentlemen. Carson can confirm birds aren't real.
What is up with that? Like, I remember I followed it when
So
it started.
there's two versions of that.
You got
But
Jimmy
the
started.
guy literally was
Good
in a
job.
news story, and they
Good job.
played
You got
the
Jimmy
footage.
started on something. You got Jimmy started on this. Please.
Stop.
Here we go.
So
No, you started it. You started
So-
this. Okay. This is
you have the whole story that they do with the, the birds aren't real, that the guy that you see that's super famous for it going around, and he is 100% a joke. Like he's intentional.
He said it in an interview. He's recorded before an interview started. He was joking that it's a joke. And then when the camera's officially recording, but the guy were recording before just to fuck with him, they're like, and then they were like, but you just said before the interview, like, because there's a news that's from the start. Like you can't, it's probably, you can find the footage, but it's like from when he started this whole thing. The news anchors were like, you literally were just joking with us.
Yes.
And they were like, why are you playing this? Like, 'cause they were trying to get a little serious, and they were like, nope, he's going to play the card. He's been still doing it, I guess. It works for him. He probably makes money.
He actually travels and makes money doing it. And
I'll say it's a good stunt, but what's the objective? Just parody?
I think honestly, like his objective is he's trying to discredit people that question reality, so like ourselves, for example.
So that's the thing. It's like, so your objective is basically making a mockery of question.
Yes, and that to me puts you in the aspect of being some kind of like government plant, possibly something in that realm of things.
Oh, do you want to get into TikTok lives and how money laundering? And I sent you the videos, guys, about how they are using these platforms to do very sketchy stuff with CP.
But I have the actual birds aren't real story that this guy,
the original,
that this guy loosely bases his thing off of, and I told him
where he based it off.
Enjoy me for a moment, giving you a 1-minute explanation on this subject, because this is something that I am pretty.
Did I see this video a long time ago? I wonder.
From 1953 to 1961, CIA Director Alan Dulles was asked to reallocate $65 billion of funds per year for the forced extinction of birds. And in May of 1955, Dulles met with an unidentified man from Boeing to purchase 120 B-52s. Then later hired 23 engineers to make modifications to those planes at Area 51, such as holding water tanks instead of bombs, installing complex radar systems, and attempting to make the planes virtually undetectable. And in 1959 launched Project Water the Country, which involved spraying a formulated bird poison when ingested by birds would cause them to decompose within 24 hours. This was said to continue till 1963 when JFK tapped CIA communications and overheard the director claiming to have killed 1.1 billion birds so far, and that no one suspects the robot birds released in their place. It said shortly after he was shown a robot turkey built for spying. But of course he objected to the plan, and shortly after, well, maybe birds aren't real.
What the fuck did I just watch? I can't tell if that story was a fucking parody. Where did you find that information? I mean, I know you research a lot of stuff.
The best place that I can send you is what is that black?
The Black Vault.
The Black Vault.
The Black Vault.
Dude, that thing's full of fucking misinformation. A lot of other people have talked about it.
Sure, but there are records. There are records of this allocating
this
of the
happened
money
in China. Okay, let's go over that. So this happened in China. What are the biggest reasons for the Chinese famine that killed tens of millions of Chinese in the time of the cultural cleansing that happened in the time of the Cultural Revolution? Was because Mao was, in all his fucking brilliance, decided to start killing a certain species of bird.
Yes, I know.
Can you guys remember which bird it is? I mean, like, this. So he did. He killed them. He killed all of them. And then what happened? Those birds were eating up the bugs that were just not like preventing the crops from all being eaten up. Let me see.
Leave it to the Chinese.
Mao Zedong all sparrows to be killed. Okay, here we go. Here's the story. This is so stupid. I mean, this is exactly what China's doing right now and why China's going to collapse. I'll send you guys. It's a long form. I sent you one long form of the why China's collapsing, but there's another one I heard, like the population of China by 2050 will be 600 million because of how fucked everything is. Like they're just doing everything wrong.
So they're basically halving their population in 30 years.
Yeah, because they're stupid, not because they planned it. And this story from Mao Zedong is a perfect example of the incompetence of centralized control without question.
Did people have more or less kids during the Great Depression?
More, way more.
More.
You think more?
They also died more often. So
Hence
humans had
mortality.
on average, so they estimated a long time ago that couples had like 10 kids on average in the past, and sometimes as high as 12, 13 kids throughout their lives.
Like my grandfather's side on my father's side, my grandfather had not only a twin brother, but like 14 other siblings.
This is why the idea of the male does all the work and the woman stays behind. It's because, man, it's a full fucking time job to take care of a fucking brood of children. Are you kidding me? It is more than a full-time job
every day for taking care of the children and homeschooling and being the house lady for me.
And your wife still works anyway because the system's so broken.
Yep. So broken. But also families were large, we've got this idea in our head that we need to, when we turn 18, we need to go off and buy our own house, buy our own.
That was a scam of the United States.
That's totally a scam.
That's a scam. Like a lot of people are like, oh, you want your kid being 32 years old living in your basement? Yeah, bro, I'm fine with that.
What you want, and I just met somebody that bought a brownstone in 2007, right before the market was going to crash. They're so happy they bought that house because their house has tripled in value since 2007. And it's a 3-unit house. And she's like, I'm leaving this for my kids. And they were thinking of even buying another one. And I was like, yeah, buy another one. You'll still be middle class. Like, this doesn't make you rich. And we were just joking, like, what's middle class going to be just soon? 3 million net worth? That's still going to be middle class. People have this perception of money that, oh, this amount of money makes you like, da-da-da. Middle class today is likely an income of 300,000 for a family. And then the top end being close to 500,000. That's true middle class today, comparatively speaking, when we're talking about a lot of other factors because of inflation.
Man, everyone I know is poor. Holy shit.
Basically. So over 50% of the population of the United States is poor. Over 50% of the population qualifies for food stamps. Just put that in your head.
Poor is relative to who you're talking to.
Of course, compared to the rest of the world, our poor are rich.
Yeah, a millionaire is poor to a billionaire. I'm poor to a millionaire, and a homeless person is poor to me. I mean, it's relative.
Yes.
I don't care right now because I have a roof over my head. I don't care in which class I fall right now because I cooked an amazing dinner tonight. I have a roof over my head. I got heat that works. I got an awesome family, and I got amazing fucking friends. You know what I mean? It doesn't fucking matter, really. I mean, I'm going to repeat myself, like I've said
the pictures
before,
of the actual cameras. So pigeons do have like this tiny amount of magnetic, that in their brain. So that's how they use to navigate.
That link I was sharing was the CIA divulging when they declassified the documents about Project Water the Country, where it led to them using these spy drones to spy on Russia, because that's where this took place. That's where
most birds that migrate
real took place.
Isn't that where the same with most birds that migrate? They have a certain amount of what were you saying, Luis? In their brain that allows them to
so it's a particular type of metal, not phosphorus. It's a type of metal that's magnetically I can't remember the exact term, but that's how they can detect the Earth's magnetic field, and that's how they can do maps so well, and that's how they can follow orders so well, that's how they can follow coordinates so well. I still don't know the science of how the hell you train pigeons, but fun fact in New York City is that pigeons were used to basically they were the SMS system of the drug traffickers.
The CIA also tried to do the same thing with cats,
pigeons for that.
They still use pigeons, yeah.
The CIA tried to do the same thing with cats too.
The spying cat. No, the Russians started that.
The Russians started the spying cats.
America did it against the Russians during the Cold War.
I thought the Russians started it.
The Russians also started a lot of weird shit, especially.
It was a CIA project. Oh, now I gotta look it up.
I think the Russians started this because I gave you the idea for the video, the TikTok video.
You did, and I went to digging into it further, and it was acusti-kitty. It was acusti-kitty.
Hey, and speaking of
Soviet kitty,
acusti-kitty, it was a CIA project. It was a CIA project.
And hey, speaking of the magnetic poles, I think the magnetic pole, the North Pole shift towards Russia has actually increased speed again.
Okay, let's see that. I want to see that. Let me see how fast it's going now.
Because I just saw a picture of where the magnetic pole, magnetic north, has existed, where and how it shifted since 1560. Every place that it's been and where it's going right now. It's going to Siberia right now.
No, dude, it's already in Siberia. What are you talking about?
No, it's not in Siberia right now. It's headed to Siberia right now. And they said there's a tipping point that once it hits a certain area in Siberia, it's gonna be enough shift to where it's gonna flip.
So what happens after that?
Who the fuck knows?
Somebody does. There's a declassified.
There you go.
Declassified book that I recommend, and I totally have the PDF for. Actually,
is it Garden of Eden?
It's called the Adam and Eve story.
Oh, the Adam and Eve story.
And it was written by a guy and published, and CIA immediately started taking it out and stuff because they was giving away about what happens during the pole shift. Basically, it confirms that when it shifted and Pangea was a thing, it sunk other fucking continents and shit like that are missing now, and all kinds of crazy shit. It's a wild ass read, and you don't even get all of it because
that's why
the CIA held on to 38 pages.
People like to say climate. Everybody wants to say climate change. It's not climate change. It is climate shift.
That's likely a better name for it. Yeah.
According
to experts, pole reversal happens every 12,000 years. However, experts say a full reversal has not taken place for 36,000 years. We are overdue.
It's coming.
It's currently it's currently 71 miles from the specific point known as the 40-degree marker at the rate of 5 miles per month.
Yep. Almost 70 miles per year.
Dude, that means it's going to reach the 40-degree mark by March 2023. This is scary.
Next year. Oh, yeah, that's right. August of next year, isn't it?
March. It says cool. March.
It was originally, I told you it sped up. Originally, it was August of next year.
So it's 5 miles per hour. 5 miles per month.
Oh, please be my birthday. Please be my birthday. Please be my birthday.
I mean, do you want the entire global satellite system to completely fail on your birthday?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Arson,
that would be awesome.
You're going to have a fun time with Morse code, aren't you? Do you know Morse code? You should learn Morse code. You're going to be very useful if you learn Morse code. I think that would be a very powerful job you should get.
I think I'll just disappear. After all the planes fall out of the sky because
they're not going to fall out of the sky.
I'm gone.
They're not going to fall out of the sky. They have backup contingencies, and you know it.
If the
entire system fails, they still have many manual overrides available.
Wait. If the poles flip, if the poles flip, we don't know what's going to happen to like the Earth's magnetic field. We don't know.
We know that biological life will be perfectly fine.
I want everybody in this group to take part in actually reading.
Damn you, Luis! Come on, man!
Adam and Eve.
Don't spoil this apocalyptic thought process for me.
No, I mean human life will not be affected. So, you ever heard of the Carrington event?
Yes,
you guys
2012.
mentioned it 100 times. The Carrington event.
Wasn't it in 2008 or 2012 or something?
No, Carrington event happened in the 1800s.
Yes,
1859. The Carrington event here. Like it's very fast. So this is when the Earth was hit by basically a solar flare, a very, very large solar flare. If that solar flare like the Carrington event hit us today, all of the satellites in outer space would fail, and we would lose all GPS, all telecommunication systems. We would have to rely exclusively on the ground systems. The problem is, while that can work to an extent, the satellite systems are to create higher precision for everything.
Good.
Certain systems will work.
Now, my counter argument to you, Luis, is that I believe the last pole shift got close to the last reset that hid the actual history of things when we get into weird shit like Tartarian stuff. Because if the poles shift, there has been too many other studies that show that it is going to greatly affect things if it shifts at a massive
and it's possible because if Graham Hancock's right, we had built crazy stuff in the Amazon 40,000 years ago, and then everything went kaput. So what if the polar shift ended that civilization 36,000, 40,000 years ago? Because we humans have been around for 300,000. You're telling me it took us 300,000 years to get to here, even at the level of innovation that we achieve? No, I don't believe that. I believe that it had to be cataclysms that have constantly set us back.
Like a pole shift. This goes back to please, I will make sure that with this episode, and for you guys too, I will give you the PDF of the Adam and Eve story, and it's super interesting. I've actually even done a whole podcast episode on it on Makes You Think on the Red Pill Project, because it is super infatuating to see that this guy predicted all this stuff in just a book he was writing, and then the CIA was like, hey, no, you can't produce this book, and fucking classified
Well, technically right now the North Pole is the South Pole and the South Pole is the North Pole, right?
Well, yeah, because we're upside down.
Well, don't the Africans say that technically the Earth is upside down?
On the map, yes.
Like the map of the Earth, like the way you should look at the Earth is actually upside down. South Africa is north.
Me and Terry talk about this, my buddy from Australia who runs Defeat the Media. And yes, he's the one that's right side up. I'm the one that's upside down.
You want to hear something really fascinating about the way you can look at the Earth? If you look at a glass, just glass, right? Everything that's dense goes to the bottom. Why is the north dense and the south light? I mean, I'm probably making like the connection completely, but what if the Africans are right? Like the people of Africa believe that they were actually like the African you flip it upside down, the way they saw the world. South Africa was the north. And this is many collectives in Africa. This is not from one.
And South Africa is way more massive than it shows that it is on any map.
It's the size of Texas to begin with. It's huge.
Like
bigger than Texas, slightly bigger, maybe slightly bigger than Texas. Oh, there's a great thing about this. Okay, I'll show
South
you guys.
America, Texas ain't that big, bro. I'm talking about South America in general.
South America, not South Africa.
Yeah.
South Africa is about the size of Texas. South America is like the size of, like, not much smaller than, well, it's a lot smaller than Africa, but it's not too much.
All right, check, Jim, play with this website. This is an amazing website that shows you the true scale of countries.
Oh, yeah,
Check that out. It's called thetruesize.co. It's a really interesting website that allows you to take one country and move it around the earth so you can see the scale of it in comparison to other countries.
How small Greenland is pisses me off.
How small Greenland really is.
So grab the United States and move it around.
Well, like look at the size of Greenland, right? Like look at the size.
So go to Greenland, click on Greenland.
Well, there's the United States right there.
Yeah. But
why is that so infuriating? That pisses me off.
All right, now go grab Greenland. So click on it. I think you have to write it. I think you have to write the name of the country potentially. Yeah, type the name of the country. And then it'll become optional. Yep, there you go. That's it. And then drag it around.
Now put it in the United States.
It's still pretty freaking big, dude.
It's big.
That is literally like 10 states.
It's huge. But like look at it like just visually when you think of like a globe and whatever, when you see Greenland, you're like, wow, that's a whole lot of fucking ice.
They say inside of Greenland is likely the largest deposits of energy on Earth.
Yes.
Denmark potentially has the largest deposit of natural gas, gold, oil, everything. Like it potentially has everything and a hell of a lot of it. They have no idea why. They don't understand why the hell Greenland has so many natural resources.
Well, I wouldn't fucking live there to find out. So,
well, the 50,000 people that do live there want all the money that they deserve. Whoa.
I find India a glitch. Did I find a glitch?
Kind of, to an extent. It's probably overextending, yeah, because of the math. But India's got 1.4 billion people. Oh, snap.
1.4 billion people.
Interesting.
So is Pakistan still flooded?
Portions of it, yes.
I heard it's
recovered a little bit, but it's still screwed. Yeah.
Like, wasn't it like a third of the livable places in Pakistan like a flood? Was it water?
I wish I could know. I don't know all the details, but I know that it's pretty bad, and like that people are displaced, and the recovery is almost going to be non-existent. I mean, between the local corruption and then the intervening by the U.S. and the Chinese, which if you look at the story of Pakistan, you got to question, like, why are the U.S. and the Chinese so interested in Pakistan? I mean, I get the interest in and also, by the way, the population of Pakistan is what, 140 million. It's really high. Like, there's a lot of people in Pakistan. It's a very packed like country. Indonesia, there's over 140 million people in Indonesia, and those are just islands.
It's just like I've always wanted to go there and go scuba diving, but I'm poor.
Oh, the Great Barrier Reef has been recovering for the past few years.
Seen that? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, as they were saying, climate change, the world's ending. But we just got to stop overfishing, and the world will be a better place.
Yes.
It's not rocket science. Let's stop overfishing. Okay. That's one of the most
Speaking of overfishing, what the fuck happened to the Alaskan crab population that can't?
The Chinese probably. They
illegal fit. They overfish all.
No. So like, you guys never heard of the Blue Army, the Blue Navy, the Chinese? I think it's called the Chinese Blue Navy.
Was it canceled this year?
So the Chinese have tens of thousands of boats. So this is where it gets really fucked up.
Think it has anything to do with
the Chinese subsidize the fishing boats. That's the problem. I
don't think it has anything to do with the lack of crab.
Well, the aliens are eating them all up, and they're not leaving anything behind for us.
No. There was just a
virus of water. No. Do you know there's more viruses underwater than there is above?
Yeah, and trapped in the Arctic ice.
Let's not go there. Let's not go to that.
What is this? Yeah. What is this? I have highlighted.
Just 1 second. I'm getting to what I was saying. There was just a massive, like a 7.0 earthquake.
What the fuck? Wait.
Go ahead. The earthquake. There was an earthquake.
There was just a 7.0 earthquake off of the coast of California, like 800 miles off the coast of California, with no aftershocks.
Oh, that's right. That people thought there was going to be a tsunami.
Yeah, no, it just happened recently.
Yeah, and people thought there was going to be a tsunami
with no aftershocks. And they're expecting more. And the crab's gone. I think there's something down there, but that's just crazy.
So could it be, because they're living on the floor? Could it be that the Earth is? So this is partially could be us. What if fracking, oil drilling, gas drilling could actually be
open something up?
Earth?
I hope so. Please, man, give me a cataclysm. All right.
I want a Kraken.
Shut the fuck up! Don't say.
I want a Kraken.
You don't want a cataclysm.
2023, rolling the dice, Kraken. Let's go. It's on my bingo card.
I want
Get a Kraken.
I want to know. I want to know why a show.
Kraken.
I want to know why a show is still going to be able to fish if fishing.
Because they're. Because they're. I forgot. Because they fish in Europe, dude.
Oh.
The deadliest catchfish in Europe. They probably show it in the bottom of the story. So, I've seen Deadliest Catch. They fish in Europe.
Really?
The show. Yeah, they fish in. They fish in. They fish in the Baltic Sea. So that's why. What? See, I know the explanation without even looking at the article. I completely forgot for a second. It's like, wait, no, they show you where they are in the Baltic Sea. I particularly remember. Oh, they're in the Baltic Sea. Interesting. Yeah, that's it. The Deadliest Catch films in the Baltic Sea.
The Bering Sea.
From the Bering Sea. There we go.
Huh.
They just film elsewhere. That's all. The Deadliest Catch was not exclusively associated with Alaskan fishing.
It is in everyone's head.
I mean, yeah, it's associated with the Alaskan crab fishing.
I believe the first seasons, and I saw that show, and I just remember thinking, man, the crew, the film crew must also freak the fuck out because they're also risking their fucking lives.
Bro, I love film crew guys.
They can't go over the boat with their massive balls tethering them to it.
Right. No, I mean, like think about the ones that were out there with with these guys like filming animals and stuff like this and like running along people.
The film crew has backup cameras inside of the ship. They have like 10 cameras in the ship because they constantly lost them or the water just destroyed them even through the protective so they were using a particular cam. It's a professional cam, but it's like this big. There were Sony cameras, and so they're about this big, and that's what they were using all the time. And yeah, they constantly broke. I've used this cameras before. They constantly broke because they're in such insanely harsh conditions that they can't survive. Hell, humans can fly off the boat. When the water gets bad, somebody can just fly off the boat. You've seen the footage of the people just sliding through the boat like they're literally rag dolls.
There was a Reddit post not too long ago about a guy who was on one of these offshore fishing vessels and stuff like that, and he had slid off the boat, fell off the boat, and as the boat was going down, it hit another big wave, and the wave brought him back on the boat.
Can you find that?
Fuck, I can look.
Oh my god!
I don't know how to. It was on Reddit. I can't remember where it was on Reddit. But I'm sure if you
just write it on Google and it searches sometimes Reddit.
I don't know how to work this fucking computer and send it in the group
Reddit,
chat.
owned by Condé Nast.
The only thing I get on fucking Reddit is my phone, just for the porn.
Reddit is owned by Vogue. Just put that in your head. It's so weird to think about. Reddit's owned by Vogue. That's why Reddit's not that fun anymore. Reddit was super fun before they were bought. Reddit was so much information was on Reddit. Yes, there were bad parts of Reddit, but they those parts generally always got deleted with time.
I don't know, dude. There's like the 2-sentence horror stories that are on Reddit. That thread, those are great. Those are fucking great.
Creepypasta, like that
TikTok
whole genre came from Reddit.
TikTok has the 2-paragraph horror stories that are wild, dude.
That's good writing, man. That's just good writing. You guys have heard the story about the person that dies and basically relives their experience from a secondary perspective. So he dies, and then he relives the moments right before, and then changes the actions because he sees the same people doing the exact same task that day, and then realizes, wait, I'm gonna fall off the stairs and die. I forgot. I wish I could, but it's a really creepy story.
Is it like a short
There's
story?
a lot of people have shared these stories. I don't know if you've heard about these stories of people die and then they come back and then they prevent themselves from dying. And that's related to, there's a particular theory called the infinite, what is it? Is it the infinite self? Or basically the idea that you are infinite and that when you die, you're just going to jump to the next body. But you generally never keep your memories, and it's a glitch when you do. I know that I could have died when I fell out on a boat. I was literally probably this far from the anchor, so the anchor would have sliced right through my skull, like sliced right through here. The anchor was like right here when I fell, just a few inches, and I would have been completely impaled by the anchor. I was like, yeah, Final Destination shit.
We've all had a few.
My friends just freak the fuck out when they saw me just falling. I was like, "What's wrong?" And then I see the anchor behind me. Ah!
You ever been? You grew up in Puerto Rico, like you've been diving and stuff like that, like free diving and stuff like that before.
Oh yeah, I love it so much. I want to do it again so bad.
Have you ever?
I'm down like 27 feet, I think. It was
hard. You ever been coming up to the surface, and you're looking at it, you're waiting, you're going up and up and up, you're getting close, and then all of a sudden the walls start closing in on your vision.
No, I know what you're talking about. I got kind of freaked out because I did go down like 20, 30 feet, and that was the first time I was doing that type of dive. Mm-hmm. And it's like you have to get used to, like, you have to train yourself. You shouldn't be like randomly doing what I was doing.
Right.
Because you have to also train your mind, because also the pressure changes. So at 30, 40 feet, you start feeling like the pressure on your foot starts to get bad, especially because of your lungs. So I had to release air. And I was like I remember the idea is like you have to release air in order to depressure and start going up.
Yeah, I don't like you slowly start like depressurizing, and I just remember hitting the surface. I was in Guam, and I would like just hit right before I hit the surface of the water. I passed out. Right. I don't remember.
You can drown right after, because if you completely pass out, if you're not breathing properly.
Yeah, and I get up to the surface and like I kind of come back to, and I'm bobbing up and down and I'm breathing in water, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And then like, because when you hold your breath for long enough, like that panic.
Well, in a time period, I was used to diving because I could stay underwater for 3 minutes, but standing still, I could stay underwater for 3 minutes.
Yeah, but not carrying.
Not swimming.
Yeah,
not swimming.
Yeah, not
so
carrying.
At that age, I was like 19. At that age, I knew how to hold my breath, but still, it's very different when you're swimming. I mean, have you seen the record? I think it's 9 minutes underwater. I think I think it's now maybe way higher because people have been able to super train themselves.
Bandit, what do you got going on in your noggin of yours? What do you want to talk about? Let's see you thinking.
Oh man, it's I got everything off my chest, we talked about. It's just been one of those weeks, man. I mean, North Korea fired 30 missiles?
Oh yeah, and South Korea fired back.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Couple of
That's
them.
what I mean. Somebody just smashed it clear off the stratosphere.
But I think that was not I think that was actually not like breathing apparatus, but I think that was the deepest free dive also. But I think he was almost dead when he came to the surface.
I mean, these people are extremists, and like physical extremists. They're not psychotic religious extremists.
That's me. I'm the psychotic religious.
Well, I think some of them are
Spaghetti Monster.
I think some of these guys that did the longest free dives are genetically they're some of them actually have spent their entire 3-4 generations on the water and free diving.
Oh yeah.
Like your Sherpas in Nepal.
So
yeah.
Yes. So do you know? Well, the Sherpas are the best example. Did you know Japanese? That's part of the reason they're so good at pearl diving. Their bodies are just designed for diving. That's why they're also they work pretty well.
They're genetically closely related to dolphins.
All humans. Okay, so get this.
Incorrect. Not all humans.
Well, let me say this that's fascinating that most people might not know. Humans, our fat is attached to our skin. Every other ape, it's attached to the bone and the muscle. Guess what animals have it attached to their skin?
Dolphins.
Aquatic mammals. So we're the only ape on Earth that it's attached to we are not the only ape that swims. I believe there's a couple of smaller apes that swim. I can't remember. Yes. I don't believe chimpanzees can swim because their muscle density is way higher than ours.
They sink like a rock, man.
And that's actually why certain people from Africa, they sink because their muscle density is higher. So people ask themselves, why do some people are afraid of water? I'm like, because they sink.
Yes,
they have a buoyancy problem.
This was the point I was about to make. Actually, is I remember reading this paper where people of like Asian descent compared to people of like African descent, because of the muscle density, the way that their muscle density is made, and such, is where there's a split, I guess, in those people, because that's where they found that more of them are related back to the dolphins on like the Asian side, and more of them are actually like have genes back into certain apes, I guess, on the African side because of like the muscle density differences. So I remember this from years ago, and I've always found that super interesting. Because when you point out things like the natural fear of water, or the ability to dive for pearls, and such an amazing feat and such, like those are interesting.
In Southeast Asia, there's a tribe that their livers have a different function altogether.
Yes, that's the kind of thing I'm saying.
They are. Those people are holy. Literally, they live on the water.
Yeah,
they basically their houses are on the water.
Yes, like, that's what I was talking about.
It's in Southeast Asia. Let me see if I can.
But I've always been fascinated about that, because I think it ties back into what you were saying there, Bandit, about these people that have lived on the water for generations. You know what I'm saying?
It's in their genetics. That's those are the people that usually do like the free dives, the depth, and for time.
That's pretty wild, though.
And that's the beautiful thing about humans. Our specializational capacity is super fascinating.
As much shit as we talk about the world and how like doomed a lot of things are, humans as a whole are fucking resilient motherfuckers.
Oh, we'll continue. I mean, life will go on, man. When I said shit is going to go apocalyptic,
apocalypse doesn't mean the end of the world. It just means drastic change.
Humans will continue. Humanity will go on. It'll look different, but it'll go on.
Yeah, the Jetsons and the Flintstones.
Yeah, that's exactly what it boils down to.
And you guys want to be part of the Flintstones, and that's a choice you can make. That's
exactly.
Okay.
And
now, how do you get the robo dinosaurs? Do you want those too?
No, I don't.
I think Jimmy might want a robo dinosaur.
No.
If you didn't know it was a robot, wouldn't you have a nice dino? Come on, you don't want a raptor pet?
Maybe.
I don't know how raptors sound.
But I mean, when it comes to people, Bandit said it.
You got it, man. I knew you'd bring that up, man. I knew you'd bring it up.
And I'll give you the whole quote, the whole 29 seconds.
It's not possible. Listen, if there's one thing the history of evolution has taught us, it's that life will not be contained. Life breaks free, it expands to new territories, and it crashes through barriers painfully, maybe even dangerously, but, well, there it is. There it is.
You're implying that a group composed entirely of female animals will breed?
No, I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
I love that guy became the villain, weird villains in Mr. Robot. I don't know if you see Mr. Robot, but he's transgender villain.
Fantastic.
I'm like, okay, transgender villain checklist. Okay, of course. Let's go for it.
I mean,
he was the Fly. He did
No, I'm
great
talking
in the
about the
Marvel universe.
scientist. The scientist.
I loved his character in the Marvel universe too. Recently.
Oh, the dude in Thor.
Yeah,
the Thor
dude.
movie.
Yeah, dude, he was so good in that.
I was
Jeff
super
Goldblum is a good
disappointed
actor.
in.
Jeff Goldblum is a good actor.
I was super disappointed in Thor: Love and Thunder.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah,
It didn't pique my interest.
No.
Yeah.
I'm about to go DC. I'm about to jump ship from Marvel and go to DC.
How about we start like there's a whole new franchise started? Because God damn it, let's create new worlds. Come on,
They are.
The world
They are.
can't
Well,
be.
listen.
The world cannot be so binomial. Like we cannot be Star Wars versus Star Trek, DC
All right.
versus Marvel.
All right.
That's so stupid.
So
Give
they
me a
have-
third option.
They have superhero movies are going to slowly start disappearing, and these new video game movies are going to be the way. And we are getting to watch the first. Listen to me. We're getting to watch the first stage build-ups of the Super Smash Brothers that the Nintendo movie group has planned. Sonic was Detective Pikachu is part 1. Sonic is part 2, and then Mario Brothers is going to be part 3.
Sonic was Sega. Well,
he's still in Smash Brothers.
They did Mario Brothers already back in the 90s.
Yeah, but they're doing this new. But they're not doing that.
Two fun facts about that movie that I've watched too many times: the Super Mario. One, if you ever watch it, realize that they're drunk.
Yes,
almost the
time.
entirety of the movie, they are drunk. John Leguizamo was just plastered half the movie. I met him in person. He's a strange person. He's got a little too far left, but overall, he has good intentions. He has a decent documentary, not a documentary. Sorry,
they traced his genealogy They traced his genealogy, and officially his ninth great grandfather or whatever was governor of like a huge area of California, Mexico, from Spain.
Yeah, I mean he is very anti-colonial systems and everything. He has good intentions in a lot of things he does. He just sometimes, I'm like, I like him as a person, but sometimes he says the craziest shit. They're like, who told you this?
Yep.
But overall, still a great person. He did a Netflix special that he speaks about the history of the America, or the history of Latin, like the history of what happened in the Americas from a comedic perspective to an extent, and it's really good for people to watch. It's a really good one. You'll learn a bit more about what really happened when the Europeans came. And Maripox is something everybody should learn about. How there was 78 million people in the Americas that died thanks to the Europeans.
Mm-hmm.
78 million people. Like a portion of the planet died, or the human population died when the stupid Europeans came. On purpose, by the way, because they brought things to kill them in order to. That's how they wanted Mexico. The only way they could have fought them was because they used biological warfare against them. How else were they going to defeat Montezuma? They were not going to defeat him, but they basically killed most of them slowly.
In just a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Montezuma had a huge army. They were never going to fucking stop him. He had like tens of thousands of soldiers. How the fuck were they going to fight them?
The first Spanish explorer that went up the Amazon in the 1540s, not 1440s, but like he went up the Amazon and he recorded all these stories and like stuff like that about these huge, massive cities, millions of people, thousands of people, amazing infrastructure. And then when Coronado came and turned and went the same route that he did, he was like, oh, this guy's full of shit. There's none of this here. But what had happened was
100 years in between there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
100 years.
100 years between then. Smallpox had wiped out the entire of the South America. I wonder how many millions of people that killed
because of the deforestation now in South America.
They're discovering them.
They're discovering these areas that had been previously just completely like triple canopy jungle covers this, and not even satellite imagery could see it.
Who was who? It like so the one.
Here's the maps. I found the maps. Here's the maps.
The one that this article is talking about, the certain city that this article is talking about, is larger than the entire metropolitan of Los Angeles.
So Graham Hancock talks a lot more on this. America Before. Go find that book. Amazing book, America Before. But he talks about how insanely huge, and he basically mentions that the entirety of the majority of the Amazon was actually potentially engineered by us. And it was a garden that we built tens of thousands of years ago.
If anyone listening to this this podcast is planning an expedition to the Amazon, I will carry your bags. Strong back, weak mind. Let's go.
I'll carry Mark, and I'll carry.
You can get a few ayahuasca ceremonies along the way.
I'll carry Carson, so this will be a win-win.
Well, I'm doing a project in Colombia. If everything works out, you're all invited once everything gets funded. I'll have enough money to invite everybody to Colombia, and we can explore from the north.
If I go to Colombia, I will OD on that pure Colombian Bam Bam. All right, I'm not going to Colombia and not doing.
You got a pretty good group right here to take along with you.
We'll protect you, Carson, when you pass out after you're binging.
You heard that, Carson? Me and you just got the okay to go on a 3-day binger.
The nose beers go too far.
I'm going to get really drunk, and then I'm going to get really sober really quickly, and then get drunk again, over and over for 3 days.
His liver's like, why? Why?
My nostrils are going to be better than a Dyson vacuum. I will.
This reminds me of, hey, Jimmy, this reminds me of a certain individual we had that tagged along with us, our canoe adventure. This is exactly what Carson's going to do.
No, we won't let that happen.
I was
we won't let that happen, man.
What happened?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug, bro. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
What happened?
Psychosis.
All right, for anyone actually listening to this, I do not do drugs. I do not partake in drugs, and I will never do cocaine. Okay.
We all know you're joking.
Okay.
Yeah. You're for especially you ever get on planes, pressure. No, it's bad for your blood. Of course you don't do it.
Yeah. Dude, smoking, I've been trying to quit smoking for the longest time, and I'm just getting to where I can hit a vape once or twice, 4 or 5 times a day, throughout, but not huff it every 2 seconds like I used to. I went all day at work today without.
Just put it down, man. Just put it down.
Trying to, and it my body is, I've eaten so much today compared to what I normally eat.
That is a weird side effect of nicotine deprivation is hunger. That is an actual known side effect of nicotine deprivation. Also, fun, hilarious story. Elon Musk posting AOC's shirts for $58. He actually posted it on his profile. I love the internet. It's getting spicy over there on Twitter.
I think episode 50, we were talking about how she's all about communism and socialism and stuff like that, but yet she sells her shirts for
$58.
$58.
And she's complaining about the $8 on Twitter. That's why he wrote back, yeah, you can pay it. Thanks for the note. You're welcome to pay.
You can afford it.
She was elected. She was selected from a casting. She was selected from a casting session.
Yes.
That's how she was found.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you see the video of them heckling her? AOC at one of her fundraisers. Was it a fundraiser? I think it was a fundraiser, wasn't it?
I don't know exactly. No, this was a town hall, and it was in Astoria, Queens, which is part of her district. So part of her district is the Bronx.
They heckled her.
The most violent part of the Bronx. So the Bronx right now in New York is the worst it's been since decades ago. And we're talking when the Bronx was obliterated, so was parts of Harlem. If you people don't know, New York, the government did really fucked up shit over here. So to give you an idea, in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, The government turned off the power to whole city blocks in the 70s. The government turned off the utilities. If you want to see class warfare in action, this has happened here. And that was a stark time. So they were talking to me about why that park was there, why people came together when the blackouts happened. Because I was in a particular park in Bed-Stuy, and people were telling me the story of that park that came about in the 70s when the government shut off the power, and everybody just came together in the parks to talk. Because that's the only place they just came together over there to talk. Because where else were they going to meet?
You know, you guys, we talk about like the government and its tyranny. It's fucking horrible, horrible tyranny. And we can complain about all these things over and over again. Like, are we ever going to sit down and talk about like what solutions? Like, is there a solution to our problem? Are we too far gone? Do we have to?
No, there's solutions.
Hey,
I believe there's solutions.
I don't think there's any solutions for the American government as a whole.
There's local solutions. There's local solutions.
Yeah, we're not going into that this late, because that could go for a while. I mean, and I personally would, I advocate for free speech, but you have to tread carefully when discussing this, rather than having a knock on your door. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Reagan made it illegal to do mass protests. So let me look up the exact detail. So if you were to incite a mass protest of, like, we're talking a scale like the train systems right now, they were again closed because they rejected Biden's deal. If the train networks of the United States stopped and they said, no, we're not going to work anymore, that's considered a violation of the law.
Yeah, because Reagan stepped in during that, and then the federal government forced negotiations for the rail line then.
Because Reagan was just another fucking what is it, neo piece of shit.
Neocon.
Yeah, neocon. That's what I was looking for.
Look, there's so many Republicans out there that just suck Ronald Reagan's dick, and they swear
they're stupid. Those Republicans
that gun grabbing commie.
And yeah, and they talk. That's one of my biggest points when I talk about Ronald Reagan is like my grandmother, God bless her soul. She's like, Reagan was such a good president, yada yada. I was like, he's done more damage to the Second Amendment than any other president in the United States history.
Reagan destroyed the medical system of this country, dude. Reagan was one of the worst presidents of the 20th century. I would say Clinton was also one of the worst presidents, but you know, it's there's one. That's Mother Jones' article on that. He fired 11,000 aircraft traffic controllers. He just fired all of them.
But Carson, to answer your question, we do actually talk about, like, you know, different kinds of solutions, and we have multiple guests that you've missed throughout your absenteeness here recently that have, you know, shown us some cool alternative ideas and stuff. And Luis is always showing us cool alternative ideas, and we're always talking to people that are literally creating an alternate infrastructure while Rome crumbles. So your whole thing we said earlier, and even how Bandit has said, and the video we showed of Jeff Goldblum of how light finds a way. Sure, eventually the American empire, the federal American empire, is absolutely going to crumble. But your life on a local level, I don't think we'll see that much of a drastic change. And in an area like you are, or me,
change can happen at a local level. You cannot change the world, but you can change the community around you. Everybody has the capacity to change the community around you. You do it by speaking up. You do it by organizing. You do it by creating unity, by creating networks and friendships. You do it by really explaining to everybody how we actually all agree. There is not a single person I know in New York that's going to vote for that psychotic woman. I don't know a single person.
You know, it's by disobedience.
They're not Republicans, by the way. None of them are Republicans. Well, maybe one or two, but the majority are not Republicans.
Go ahead, Bandit. You're right.
By disobedience. You know, it's by, you know, just telling them to fuck all the way off, man. That's it. You know, I mean, They rule through fear. That's it, man. That's it.
But I can't remember the exact quote, but like people that think you have your rights because of the government are so brainwashed. You have the government has way too much control over the average everyday American. So much more control than it should. Like I don't see a solution to like an immediate solution to all the problems that's like not absolute treason. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, on a technicality, we're committing treason right here because we're more than 3 people conspiring. So
yeah, we're not making any plans.
My bank account got blocked the other day. Could we not? I don't need my bank accounts blocked so early in my life, guys, please.
Good luck. There's 47 cents in mine. My mortgage just went out. So fuck you, government. All right.
Carson, so you got anything you want to the last minute throw on before we get ready to sign out here? I like going around and making sure anybody's got any last words they want to put in.
I think one of my last words will be, as long as people get off their phones, stop looking at the damn internet, and stop looking at the damn news that's just feeding them nothing but propaganda. Get together with your neighbor and talk about how much people in general do for other people near you. Make sure your community's tight. Make sure your community loves and respects one another. And I think at the end of the day, that's what's going to make America great again.
I think I have a little bit of a tear.
A little bit of brotherly love goes a long way. I'm really sick and tired of just pulling up my phone and seeing those dumb white women go on there and be like, Trump 2024, and then I'm so tired of the division in America more than anything in the world. As soon as people start coming together over something, that's when we're going to start seeing some changes. Fuck political party A and B. Fuck that. We shouldn't be voting for people because of their political parties. We should be voting for people because of who they are as a person.
Yep.
Sadly, Make America Great Again came from Reagan. The phrase.
Okay. I'm sorry. Shit. All right.
No, but the sentiment is simply America was more unified and more cohesive in certain aspects of collective cultural appreciation of each other. And because of the internet, because of the changes of media, and because of the power of propaganda, the polarization globally has expanded exponentially. This polarization is not exclusive to the US. In Colombia, they're very polarized. In Brazil, they're very, very polarized right now. Bolsonaro is pushing for a coup, which I'm like, that's too spicy, sir. I do not want Brazil to enter into such a crazy state. But also, Luna was not the most honest guy. He is part of Petrobras, which was one of the largest oil companies in Brazil. So, he's all for the agendas.
And you got anything else?
I do not.
No? Well, of course, I think this has been a fantastic evening. There was one thing that we didn't actually touch on that I did kind of want to say before we got out of here is you guys should totally look into the story of this fellow right here. I'll make sure that I share the link for it or whatever.
Oh, that was that was what we were supposed to start the episode with.
We were, but we got sidetracked, and that's okay. But this guy kind of unalived, and it
29 years old. But show at least the Twitter.
I'll show his Twitter. I got his Twitter pulled up too, actually. But like
show the tweet that got him killed or got him unalive. Sorry.
Unfortunately, the last tweet they have is back in August. Oh no, they do have it. Okay.
No, October 28th.
Yeah, right there. I didn't see it. So he tweeted this.
Look at the comments section. Open that and look at the comments section. No, it's a
I don't
comment.
wanna
Just click it
comment.
on the side. Click it on the side. No.
I don't want. I didn't
Click
want
it below below the sun. There we go. Or just click the whole thing.
Now it's
Yeah, of course it's going to be blocked.
No, hit the side on the side, the opposite side under the icon.
right here.
Yep, click there. It should open the.
Yeah,
There we go. That's how you open it. Twitter is weird.
Twitter is weird.
He died literally where I grew up.
Yeah, we were talking
Next to
about
where I
that.
grew up.
You know, so that one hit close to Luis, but it's just funny how he makes this tweet the other day, and now all of a sudden he's drowned.
And he's not the first. In the article, you'll read that another guy in the crypto space also was magically drowned at a young age. And again, unless you're on a hell of a lot of drugs, nobody dies in the waters of Puerto Rico. There's a reason we don't have lifeguards. Why? Nobody dies like that. It's extremely, extremely rare. And when I mean extremely rare, I mean extremely rare. Puerto Ricans do not die of drowning. Children maybe once or twice, and that is a tragedy that happens. But grown adults, nobody dies. It is not a thing. In Puerto Rico, nobody dies of drowning. Everybody knows how to swim. Wait, it's an island. How do you not know how to swim?
So I personally think not only should you guys, look into that article, but maybe also look into what his tweet was about, because there might be some truth to it for you to, be unalived. I don't know, but aside from all that, I think it has been a fantastic evening. I've had so much fun having you back over, Carson. Can't wait till you come back again, man. You know you're always welcome to come and hang out whenever you got some time.
Hunting season's over, so nothing but free time here.
Sweet. We'll take advantage of you during the winter months then, maybe get you hanging around a little bit then. So, because I look forward to it. I like having your little one-liners popping around. I understand you, buddy. You're okay.
I think it's pisses Bandit off. I've heard him sigh more tonight than I ever have.
Nah. I'm used to it.
But of course, you guys know I can't, sign out of here without giving you something good. So check this out. I was halfway through writing a movie script about a pirate that kept losing his wooden leg. But it turns out there's already a film called Footloose. Good night, everybody.
Good.